want to bring you some news that's coming to us from the United States. And the actor George Clooney has come out saying that he thinks President Biden should leave the presidential race. Clooney, of course, is a high-profile Biden supporter and a fundraiser for the Democrat Party, but has said that he thinks it is time for President Biden to step aside and leave the presidential race, and said so in an opinion column for the New York Times. Let's bring in our US correspondent, Martha Kellner, for a little bit more on this. Martha, great to have you with us. So, look, there's been the slow drip of maybe one or two, maybe six Democrat Congress people who have said that he should pull out, but this is probably the highest profile name at this stage to say that Biden needs to step aside.
Yeah, I think what we've been hearing for the past 2 weeks since that shambolic debate performance is the only people who really have the power to change President Biden's mind on whether he will run again for re-election in November is his closest supporters. And by that, I mean his family members and his very closest aides. But it's certainly not insignificant to lose the support of such a high-profile Hollywood figure as George Clooney. It was only 2 weeks ago that George Clooney was holding the single biggest fundraiser in history for a Democrat candidate in support of Joe Biden's re-election. The White House have spent the past 13, 14 days blaming that debate performance on President Biden's travel schedule, saying that the debate was a one-off bad performance, something to be forgotten, to be consigned to the annals of history. Well, now you have George Clooney saying that that debate performance, that debate Joe Biden, is in fact the same Joe Biden that he saw at that fundraiser, and he doesn't think he's capable of beating Donald Trump and leading the country for another 4 years. I think the real killer line in that New York Times opinion piece from George Clooney, he says, "It's devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe big effing deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at that debate." I think that is a damning assessment from George Clooney, and losing that part of Hollywood, the liberal left-wing part of Hollywood, isn't insignificant just because it means losing positive endorsements. They're also responsible for a lot of the biggest fundraisers that keep the Joe Biden campaign afloat. So I think we'll certainly hear more about that as the day progresses, but certainly not good news for Joe Biden.